Hello everyone, this is Woden with another video. This is Alaric. Alaric is my barbarian. Currently he is fully potted. I am running a Wildstorm elixir, watermelon sorbet, salted pork, superior flask of potency. When I put all my stuff on, I do use an invoke blessing right before I sorbet. It does give me a little bit more to my stats, which allows the sorbet to give me a little bit more to my stats while the invoke is running. I believe it lasts 2 minutes. So to get into it, as you see, this is where my stats are at. It is important that I point out the accuracy cap. Once I use watermelon sorbet, that's what it brings me up to. Other than that, it is usually down around 81, 82. The other thing to point out is critical strike. I see that it is a couple grand under the cap. The reason for that is because I still haven't switched over to two of my enchants should be Azures or another enchant that gives you about 2,000 crit strike apiece, so that way you can cap that out. As you can see, my armor pen is overcapped. My power is around 194,000. You should have your power between 190 and 200,000 while you're learning it, because your HP is going to be significantly higher for training purposes. For gear, I am running the Lion Guard helm. I am also running the Ebonized breastplate. I have been trying to get the Sentinel of the Stars piece. Just haven't had the RNG or the luck or whatever you want to call it. I have been trying to farm it now for about 2 months. I've pulled it on one of my 3 tunes. And that was my cleric, and that's the only one that's not Zariel ready. I am running the Langard Raid gloves. You can get those from the IC. It's 3 chains for those. Just so everybody knows, I did see this as a question on the Facebook page at one point the other day. For those of you who don't know, this requires 3 of the Pit Fiend pieces. Those come only from the second boss in IC that I have seen. I have not seen it drop from anybody else. I've been told it can drop from others, but that's the only one I've ever seen it drop from, so that's the only place I believe it comes from. But again, I'm told it may potentially drop from another one of the bosses in there. My weapons, main hand and offhand, are both Lionheart. The modification on my main hand is Relentless Slash. I do still use Relentless Slash. It may not be the best in slot amongst barbs, but I like it. It's a quick swing when I go into rage. It just piles on more damage, and it allows me to wipe out the trash mobs or the ads that some of the bosses spawn. And generally my party likes the fact that I can just swing once and take out half the group. It's a nice thing to have sometimes. My modifications on my offhand. Every class, I believe, pretty much runs critical severity unless they absolutely need a different stat. That is the one I run. And for this build specifically, I run the enhanced armor pen because that's how I'm going to meet my armor pen cap, which for the barbarian is 92.5, not 90. I've seen barbarians running around saying it's capped and it's only 91k. It is 92.5. The reason for that is our over penetration skill requires us to have it 2,500 more than the cap, and it's a significant damage boost. I am running the Fiend Forged Greaves. It's basically the Infernal boots, but I've already leveled them all up. For pants and shirt, I'm also running the Inforged sets. The pants, I believe the Sentinel ones are the best in slot. I think those are the ones that give you almost 4,000 defense. I could be wrong, it might be a different pair. But those come, again, from MEs and Wardens and all that fun stuff, which I haven't been lucky enough to get them. I've got the deflection version of them, but not the defensive version. I am running the Dark Remnant set out of IC for my artifacts. It does allow me to hit my caps. As of right now, I'd say it's probably best in slot for barbs. I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't completely quote me. Um, their best in slot may still be music box for them. I'm not 100% sure. It's more damage in Valenhouse and Avernus. Um, so that's what I go with. Striking Ring of the Master. There is a legendary version. It does come from Tom. I have not been able to get it yet. In my completions in there, but I still run Tom pretty regularly as much as I can. I am still trying to get it. It just adds a little bit more crit strike. Its crit strike on that ring is just over 20k instead of just under 20k. I think it's like a 400 or 500 crit strike difference. The bypass gold ring, accuracy, combat advantage. My at wills do 3% more damage. Again, not much changed from my mod 18 build other than I had to find HP, so I had to sacrifice some power, and we'll get to the spots where that happened now in a second or two. Engine Master's Mantle, it just completes the set, gives me good amount of HP, good amount of armor pen. It does allow me to hit caps, so that is again why I'm wearing this set. I equipped the books and stuff just for the sake of the video. There is one of the books that does help with one of the zariel mechanics, and I was actually asked to put it on when I was using my wizard, so people do use them in there as a primary artifact. I just can't exactly remember which one off the top of my head right now. But if you go in there, whoever does callouts, they'll let you know which one it is if they feel it's necessary for the group. I primarily run the books because they give me 32,000 HP, which, as you know, is a lot of HP, and you need more HP in this mod. Powers, you can go with whatever powers you want. This is my power sheet. Again, I didn't change it from the last mod. It's the powers I've been running with right along for the most part. I did adjust from using not so fast to roar because it allows me to go into rage faster, and that's where I feel most of my damage comes from. My barb is not by any means the top barb in this game, but he does hold his own against other barbs when it comes to a DPS battle. For guild boons, I'm not in a guild that has a whole lot of guild boons right now. We're only rank 5 in my guild because we're trying to build it up. So I just got the HP boon, and it gives me 3,200 HP. The guild boons that I will be running on this tune for any endgame content for the foreseeable future will be HP, Revive Sickness, and Crit Severity. Those are the primary boons that you need when you're in in-game content. Character boons, I am still farming some of them. I do still need to get my Companion Influence one up to the max, as well as my one for killing demons and all that fun stuff in Valenhouse, the Demonic Mastery, and the Marathon Runner. Those are some of the ones I'm working on still. As you can see, I've only got 48 boons, so I still have more boons to acquire on this character. Primary boons you should be working on, you should focus on maxing out is power and hit points, and then you should tune it to whatever boons you need to hit your stat caps. I would recommend maxing out the armor penetration one, just because the higher your armor pen is, the more over cap it is. If you take it down and you lose some of your stats, you still have a good chance at still being at or over that 92.5, and that will still allow you to keep some of that power. Companions, I am running the Bullet Pup. He adds on combat advantage, defense, and power. I feel that those are the 3 spots that my companion can help me with most as far as my summon companion. You can run the deep crow, I guess, as long as you can make the stats work the other way. I have seen people run them. It's whichever one you feel like. I already have him. He's been my companion for a while now, so that's who I run. Companion equipment, I have my 3 bonding rank 15s on. I have my Gold Leaf Grimoire for combat advantage. I have my Imperial Moonstone belt. The Pristine belt is the 1010 version of this. There is also another 1010 version of this. The Pristine belt has another belt, and they go, literally, they are the same thing. I want to say it's the Imperial Diamond belt. Um, Same stats and everything, so one of those 2 belts would be better than this one. This is the one I have. I don't have the other one, so I'll take the little bit less. It's really only a little bit less on the stats. The Chain Talisman is my 3rd piece. And then in all of these, I'm running Empowered 15s. I did need a little bit more defense just to get over the defensive cap at one point, which is why I run a Profane in here. Now I keep it in here just that way if I take it down, I'm still over my defense cap. And it allows me to still takes a little more damage to get me. So for the actual companion bonuses, I'm running the Alluring Insight. Any incoming healing you can sneak in is good. It does help healers. It also gives me 2,000 power. Baby Deep Crow also gives me 8,000 power. So altogether I have 10,000 power coming just from my bonuses, which is what's allowing me to stay within my power range that I need to be in for Zariel. I do run the Iron Golem in here. It does add 16,000 defense. It is good. It gives you 16,000 HP, I'm sorry, and 2,000 defense. And it's good because of the HP. It does give you that, and it does help you hit that defensive cap and go a little bit over to combining it with the slime to give you that ability to take it down, possibly 2, and still be over your defensive cap. I'm told that the ratio for the amount underneath the defensive cap you are based on how much damage she does, I'm told that percentage is very, very massive. I want to say somebody said it was like 10,000 for every 1,000 you were under the defense cap, and that could be huge. Most of her attacks already hit for 500,000 as like a baseline anyways, so 10,000 more than that and you're looking at serious trouble at that point, especially if you're not over the HP cap significantly, which if you don't have a leg tric, I understand for some classes and some people it is harder to do that. I do run my Energon currently for training. As I get other things in here that give me HP, like my legendary war tric, which I did pick up that box today, so I will be using him on here soon. That'll allow me to potentially swap out this or my Iron Golem for another thing that'll give me power or more stats somewhere. It'll allow me to tweak the build a little bit. Let's see what else we got. Mounts. So I am currently using the Swarm as my combat power and the Stalwart as my equip power. It does give me HP, which is needed. It will be the 50k one soon, but this is a build without the leg trike for those who can't afford to get one or aren't able to pull one, or for whatever reason you don't have one. This is a build without a war trike, so you can see that you don't need to have the war trike to go into Zariel. You can do it without the war trike. This is the build option for that. My bonuses, I'm running all dominance and all brutality insignias. I did not change everything over to HP. I did not need to change everything over to HP to still hit my HP cap. So I stuck with my brutes and my doms to keep my power up there. I do run 3 of them as gladiators guiles. They help keep my stamina refilled at all times. The reason for that is because Lionheart weapons, your stamina is over 75%, they do 10% more damage. With a barbarian, Sometimes we use our speed to get out of the line of fire a little bit quickly, so we can stay in and take another and do another hit or two. Or a mechanic pops up and we don't find it till it's too late. Well, that speed run allows us to do it. These Gladskiles allow us to use that and not sacrifice a ton of power for very, very long. Usually it only takes a couple of seconds to get it back. I do run Artificious Persuasion. It's only a reduction of 2% on cooldown, but when you're trying to get your artifact off with the group in sync and in utilization, most people run at least one of these, if not, because I don't believe they stack, but at least they run usually at least one. So you want to try and keep your cooldowns roughly around the same on the artifacts. Cavalry's Warning: whenever you use a mount combat power, you gain 1,000 to all of your power ratings. This just allows me to get an extra 1,000 power, get an extra 1,000 defense, get an extra 1,000 armor pen. If I take it down and I use my combat power when I come back to life, I can still potentially be at caps after a down or two, because that extra 1,000 will put me there. Granted, it's only for 10 seconds, but sometimes that 10 seconds is enough to, do something worthwhile and make an impact in the trial. So that's that. If I didn't mention it already, which I don't believe I do, I believe I forgot, all of my utility spots are darks for companion influence. I am very big with pulling as much as I can out of that companion. If he's going to be there just following me around not doing nothing, well, he's got to at least supply as much of the stats that he gives me as possible. In my defense and offensive slots, I run all rads. 2 of my offensive slots will be changing over to Azures, and then when I do that, that is when my crit strike will be at the cap of 90k. Looks like my buffs wore off. For the last 2 enchants I'm using a Bark Shield as my armor enchant. I do have a Bark Shield 14. It's currently on my wizard. So I would have a 14 on when I go into Zariel. For trash mob farming, which is what I'm doing with the character right now, a 13 is perfectly fine and effective in most dungeons. I could actually run the 13 probably in Tom and be just fine. And my weapon enchantment, again, I'm currently running a lightning. I'm dealing with a lot of trash mobs and AoE, so that works for my current thing. I do have a bile that I can put in here for single target, or you can get the Vorpal and you can use that one as well. Those are the 3 best as far as weapon enchants. Bile and Vorpal are the best in slot for single targets. That's the build. That's what I've come up with. Feel free to leave comments or message. Keep an eye on the channel. I'll be posting more videos at some point. These are the 2 I currently have. I have my Barb. If you've seen the other one on my channel, it's the Wizard. Both of which were Zariel builds that I've posted. So hopefully this helps you barbarians who are struggling to get to Zariel build. Again, this is a non-legendary tric build. I will be adding a legendary tric. It may tweak my build. I may not tweak the build until after I've mastered Zariel's mechanics, and then I may tweak it and just put the leg tric on and take off the books and the energon and go for more power. I hope everybody enjoys the video and have a wonderful rest of your day.